artist?
Well, I've been an artist since I was 17. That's when I first started drawing, and I got my first professional gig when I was 17. So 24 years now.
Wow. What inspired you to become an artist?
I was in a wheelchair. The only room that my wheelchair fit into, I got hurt, was the art room. And art teacher named Dan Iorio saw something and guided me towards being an artist. And been one ever since. I guess I was one before, just in a different venue. I was a professional cyclist when I was younger. So I wound up getting hurt. Just a tour all over the place, doing tricks like the X Games on our bikes, except for we made money at it. And just found a latent ability.
Who's your favorite character to draw?
Favorite character to draw? Quite honestly, I think who do I draw the most? Favorite character?
For fun or
For fun.
For fun? You tend to draw your odd stuff for fun.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. That's true. Mainly my characters from my Dark Side of the Lion from the Dark Side of Oz. That is my favorite. I draw him when I'm just doodling. But I don't think I ever really had a favorite comic book character to draw. When I was on Batman, I loved drawing Batman, but after so long on Batman and everybody and their mother asking you to draw Batman, you don't draw him when you draw.
Gotcha. Are you still doing the Dark Side of Oz?
Yes, I am. I'm doing it right now, actually. It's being made into an RPG, a board-top game, and working on the graphic novel right now. And we also have many other aspects of it that we're not really talking about yet. Movie, but we're doing everything I can. But honestly, I believe more people should have their own projects, their own stuff they work on. I enjoyed working for the companies for years, but when it comes right down to it, no matter how long you draw a character for another company, it's always theirs. So at the end of the day, it's theirs and it stays theirs. So if you don't own it, you're just a cog in a wheel, unfortunately.
How long have you been working on the Dark Side of Oz?
5 years.
5 years.
I came up with the idea in 1999. I was part of a collection of books called Masters of Fantasy, and everybody else in the collection had been published for like 30 years, and I was the rookie. So I came up with this idea of a book called Dragons of Myth and Mayhem, and in it, Dark Side of Oz was created as a pin-up, the circle pin-up over there. And that was the premise for my entire book, just in a single image back then. And then when I got off of Batman, I decided I needed to own something, and the first thing that came to mind was my Dark Side of Oz, which I'm a huge Oz fan. And, I took, his concept as a platform and then wrote a completely new story. Not an alteration, not an abomination, not something that I would find offensive to the property. It's really you're standing on the shoulders of a giant and claiming rights to it. And that's what I didn't want to do, so I wrote something completely new, completely innovative, just with those characters. I rewrote the history, I rewrote everything. 5 years of rewriting and planning everything out with keeping as much respect towards Frank Baum, towards the Wizard of Oz, all of it. Because when you love something, you don't degrade it. You know, I didn't make Dorothy a slut that runs around half naked. I didn't make, you know, the Tin Man's not going around as some kind of serial killer. No, it definitely doesn't. It doesn't degrade it in any way. You know, that was what was most important to me. But yeah, 5 years.
Do you have an idea of when the graphic novel will be released?
We're hoping to have the graphic novel out by the end of this year.
Very cool.
Or the end of 2012, hopefully. The problem is,
I know, I was talking about 3 months. I was like, you know.
I've been working on it for so long, and every time that I get an opportunity to work on it, something else comes up. Like I had announced this book coming out years ago, and then it was optioned as a film. And for 3 years, I wasn't allowed to put a book out. You know, and I sat around waiting for it to become a film, and it didn't. And when the contract came to be renewed, they threw money at me. And it was the most money I've ever turned down in my life. But I turned it down so that I could do the book. You know, I guess a lot of the film industry is just, you know, they're willing to bury things and wait on them for forever. So I took the risk of you know, not taking the option and putting it out myself.
Well, thank you very much for your time.
You're very welcome, man.
Very, very well.
Have a good day.